This is a problem that you might be interested by if you're in middle school, and this is kind of tough, so if you haven't taken geometry or are in geometry, then this might be a bit challenging. But if you could solve this and you haven't taken geometry, then you were way ahead. So you could pause the video right now and solve it. So first of all, when we're solving it, we know that this is what we're looking for, this white area here. And at first you might be stuck because how are we supposed to find this area? So we could just use critical thinking, and we know that the total area, T, minus the area of the triangle, I probably shouldn't have used these letters, I apologize. The area of the circle minus the area of the triangle is going to equal our answer, obviously. So now we just have to find the area of the circle and the area of the triangle. So to find the area of the circle, we know that we need the radius. So we find the radius by knowing this is the center, and this segment is going to be the radius. So now we just have to find that segment. And notice how it creates a right triangle with the equilateral triangle here. And this segment here is bisected into 5. And we know that this is going to be a 30-degree angle because it's an equilateral triangle with the angle being bisected. So now we just have to find the radius or the hypotenuse, which we'll just label with x. So now that we know the x is going to be the radius, all we have to do is use trigonometry to solve this. And you could use other methods, but they're a lot more complicated. So we know that we have to use cosine because of SOHCAHTOA, and we have adjacent over hypotenuse. So it's cos 30 is going to equal adjacent over hypotenuse, so 5 over x. And we just flip x in cos 30, so 5 over cos 30 is going to give us our radius, and that gives us 5.7 as our radius. And I'm just going to use 5.7 because we're rounding to the nearest tenth. So now that we know our radius is 5.7, to find the area of the circle, we just have to do our radius squared times pi. And when you plug 5.7 into your calculator and square it, you will get 32.5, roughly. So we know that our answer is going to be 32.5 times pi for the area of the total circle. So we have one part of our equation figured out. So we could rewrite this as 32.5 minus the area of triangle is going to give us our area. So 32.5 pi, which we could actually rewrite because we're rounding to the nearest tenth. So that's really 1 second, times pi is about 102.1. So 102.1 minus the area of the triangle is going to give us our answer. And now all we have to do is find the area of the triangle. So to find the area of the triangle, we know that the formula for a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So we already have the base, 10 inches, and now all we have to do is find the height. And you might notice that this forms a right triangle here. This is bisected into 5. This is the part we're looking for, and we know that each side length is 10 because it's equilateral triangle. So now we know that this is 10, this is 5. All we have to do is use the Pythagorean theorem. And once you plug it in, you get x squared plus 25 equals 100. And so we know that x equals root 75, which is really just, in my calculator, 8.7. So x is 8.7. And once you multiply that with the base, we get 87. But then again, we have to divide it by 2 because that's the formula for triangle. So 87 over 2 yields 43.5. So we know that the triangle has an area of 43.5, which means that we almost have our area. So we could just rewrite this as 0.1 minus 43.5, and this gives us an answer of 58.6 square inches, rounded to the nearest tenth. 58.6 square inches. I hope you enjoyed this problem.